US-Iran tensions have escalated again with the killing of top Iranian general in an air raid conducted by the US on Friday. Iran's supreme leader was quick to announce severe retaliation, while the US president said that the hostilities should come to an end with the high-profile killing. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Chinese ambassador to Nepal says China will not intervene with Nepal's decision on its choice of development partner, says no issues with Millennium Challenge Corporation. The government and protesting sugarcane farmers reach 5-point agreement committee to be formed to sort out the problems faced by farmers. Sporadic rainfall witnessed across the country due to low-pressure westerly winds. Transportation along high hills region obstructed due to snowfall. And US President Donald Trump says the killing of powerful Iranian military commander for the end of hostilities, even as Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khomeini warns of severe retaliation. Let's begin with national political updates. Chinese ambassador to Nepal, Hou Yangxi, has said that Nepal should take independent decision regarding the much-touted Millennium Challenge Corporation. She added that Nepal is free to seek support from any foreign nation for its economic development. We have a report.
Ambassador Hou Yangxi made the remark while speaking at a press conference organized at the Chinese embassy on Friday. Meanwhile, she made it clear that Nepal's decision to cooperate with a nation of its choice on development grounds would not be any problem for China, while emphasizing that Nepal and China were closest neighbors.
It is a kind of economic and trade cooperation. We hope that the Nepalese side can decide on your own feet and do not intervene by some other forces. And I think all the cooperation for the economic one should be an equal one and a benefit to the Nepali people and the nation's national interests.
On a different note, Chinese Ambassador Yangxi said that the 122 Chinese citizens arrested in Kathmandu last week were involved in cybercrimes. She added that they were arrested based on the information provided by the Chinese embassy, as the Chinese population too have been affected by the crimes related to online fraud. She also said that the prosecution against the arrested Chinese citizens was Nepal's internal matter.
Because there are some Chinese nationals and citizens in the mainland of China has already been suffered from this kind of crime. So that is why the Chinese side share some of the information with the Nepalese side. And the Nepali policemen have this kind of activity. I think this is belong to the Nepalese side, and this is the activity of the sovereignty of Nepal.
Meanwhile, China's Ambassador Yangxi remarked that some Western nations are not in the favor of China being a secure, capable and stable nation, and that they have also been against any harmonious relations between Nepal and China. She said that there was no hitches regarding the bilateral relations between Nepal and China, as Nepal has remained one of China's very trustworthy neighbors.
Some of the Western countries, they don't like to see a stable China, a secure China. They always don't like to see a very good China and Nepal relations. I think this is a kind of security concern from our two countries. So China and Nepal are the close friends, not only close, but also the trusted.
At the press conference, Ambassador Yangxi said that the 2+1 notion between China, India and India was in fact a part of the trilateral cooperation, and that it is not at all an attempt to isolate Nepal in any pretext. Chinese Ambassador Yangxi also expressed commitment that China would lend every possible support to ensure the visit of maximum number of Chinese tourists in the Visit Nepal Year 2020.
The government and the protesting sugarcane farmers have struck a 5-point agreement. The agreement to pay all the due amounts to the farmers by 21st of February, among others, have been forced at the negotiation held between the farmers and officials of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supply earlier yesterday. As per the agreement, the ministry is to facilitate the payment owed by industries to sugarcane farmers and form a task force comprising representatives from the farmers and the ministry along with experts in a bid to seek a long-term solution to the problems faced by the sugarcane farmers. The farmers had been staging protests in the capital for the past 2 weeks to collect their outstanding payment of 1.33 billion rupees from the operators of sugarcane industries. And moving on, the investment board has finalized investors to invest on 14 different development projects among the 50 total projects announced during the investment summit last year. The total cost of the 14 projects amounts to 1,188 billion rupees. The investment board has selected Switzerland's Zurich International to construct the Nisgard International Airport and China Construction Company for the construction of the Outer Ring Road. Likewise, Nepal's Matrix, Qatar's Nabraz, Japan's Fuji Kansai and USA's General Electric Company have been jointly selected for construction of the West Sethi hydropower project of 700 megawatt capacity. The maximum 6 different investment companies had filed application for the construction of Nisgard International Airport. The board has informed that contacts with the selected companies are being established to make them start their investments. And we'll take a short break here. For more news, do stay with us. Chief Justice Cholendra Samsir Rana has said the Supreme Court will evaluate the potential environmental impacts of the under-construction Nisgard International Airport. Speaking at a press conference held yesterday after completing 1 year in office, Chief Justice Rana asserted it was important to evaluate the effects of the Nisgard International Airport if the project went ahead. Rana reiterated destruction of forest would affect the biodiversity and said the project would not receive any special treatment just because of the national pride status. A Supreme Court bench led by Chief Justice Rana and Justice Kumar Regmi had issued an interim order to hold felling of trees for Nisgard International Airport on 22nd of last month. The effect of low-pressure westerly winds resulted in sporadic rainfall and snow in different parts of the country yesterday. The poor visibility in the capital also forced the cancellation of flights at the Tribhuvan International Airport. We have a report.
Different parts of the country received slight to moderate rainfall throughout the day on Friday. The high hills and Himalayan regions meanwhile witnessed snowfall. The rain and snow has also dipped the mercury. The Weather Forecasting Division has said that it will continue to rain till Saturday afternoon, while hilly region will experience more snowfall. Meanwhile, a dense fog affected a number of domestic and international flights at the Tribhuvan International Airport on Friday. Due to poor visibility, Kathmandu-bound Qatar Airways flight circled in the Nepalese sky for 22 times before making its way to Kolkata Airport. Likewise, Air China flight, Sichuan Airlines flight from Lhasa were also diverted due to poor visibility. Most of the domestic flights to hilly region too were halted. The takeoffs and landings at the TIA only resumed towards the late afternoon with improved visibility. The Weather Forecasting Division has also said that the general weather will improve Sunday onwards.
And now time for international update. US President Donald Trump has said the US killed Iran's top military commander Qasem Soleimani to stop a war, not to start one. He said Soleimani's reign of terror is over after the strike at Baghdad airport in Iraq on Friday. Soleimani spearheaded Iran's Middle East operations as head of the Quds Force. Iran has vowed severe revenge on those responsible for his death. The killing marks a major escalation in tensions between the two countries. US officials have said 3,000 additional troops will be sent to the Middle East as a precaution. Iraqi state television says there has been another airstrike in the country 24 hours after the killing of Soleimani. However, there has been no comment on this from Washington. An Iraqi army source told Reuters news agency that 6 people have been killed in the fresh strike, which hit a convoy of Iraqi militia in the early hours of Saturday morning. And it's now time for another short break. We'll be right back. And in our public voice segment, we had asked the residents of Salyan district what kinds of programs the local governments should introduce to educate children from economically challenged families. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
विपन्न बालबालिकालाई पहिलो क्षेत्र भनेकै शिक्षा क्षेत्र भएको हुनाले पढ्न लेख्नको लागि चाहिँ कापी किताब व्यवस्था गर्ने कुरामा चाहिँ बजेटको व्यवस्था गरिदिनु पर्यो।
उनीहरुको चाहिँ डाटा कलेक्सन गरेर उनीहरुलाई छात्रवृत्तिको व्यवस्था र राम्रो शिक्षाको व्यवस्था गर्नुपर्छ।
स्थानीय तहले बाल संरक्षण नीतिहरू बनाउने अनि उनीहरुलाई चाहिँ संरक्षण गर्नका लागि केही बजेटहरु विनियोजन गरेर उनीहरुलाई संरक्षण गर्ने पढाउने जस्ता कामका लागि बजेटहरु छुट्याउनु पर्छ।
सबैभन्दा पहिला स्थानीय तहले त एउटा जनचेतनामूलक कार्यक्रम चलाउनु पर्छ। जनचेतनामूलक कार्यक्रम चलाएर प्रत्येक स्थानीय तहले यसको निम्ति निश्चित बजेट छुट्याउनु पर्छ।
And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, what's your take on the interference by trade unions even in the state policies? Your options are A, political cover, B, lack of action, and C, managerial lapses. The voting for the question is on. Type in W or select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And let's move on to sports update.
Sports news.
Sevilla and Athletic Bilbao settled for a 1-1 draw in the Spanish La Liga match held late last night. Playing in their home ground, the third-place Sevilla were forced to share points with the visiting Athletic Bilbao. It was the visitors who forced into the lead in the 15th minute when Ander Capa found the net. Sevilla just managed to equalize by virtue of an own goal by Unai Nunes 15 minutes into the second half. The one-goal stalemate has dented Sevilla's title race as they have 30 points from 19 matches. The second-place Real Madrid have 37 points, while Barcelona lead the table with 39 points. Both Barcelona and Real Madrid have a match in hand. And back home, Tribhuvan Army Club have lifted the Women Football Championship held in Dhankuta. In the final played yesterday, Tribhuvan Army defeated arch-rivals Armed Police Force to lift the trophy. The match was decided on tiebreaker after the regulation 90-minute failed to break the deadlock. The Army Club won the tiebreaker 3-1. Rasmi Gising, Pooja Ranamagar and Nisa Bohra scored for Tribhuvan Army, while the lone goal for APF was scored by Manju Dong. The winners Army Club also pocketed 200,000 rupees, while the runners-up APF settled for 100,000 rupees. And it's now time for our special segment, Media Watch.
The Delegated Legislation and Government Assurance Committee under the Federal Parliament on Tuesday directed the government to publish a new map of Nepal by including Nepal's land encroached by India at Lipulek, Kalapani and Limpiadhura. The committee summoned Home Minister Rambahadur Thapa, Foreign Minister Pradeep Gewali, Land Management Minister Padma Aryal, and Forest Minister Sakti Basnet to discuss on the issue and directed the government to publish the new map. Likewise, the National Assembly on Thursday also directed the government to carry out a high-level political initiative with India to resolve the long-standing border dispute. The National Assembly meeting held on Thursday unanimously approved the proposal put forth by Chief Whip of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Khimlal Bhattrai, and Sarita Prasai of the main opposition Nepali Congress, directing the government to strengthen its diplomatic efforts and take necessary political initiatives. While responding to questions raised by lawmakers, Foreign Minister Pradeep Gewali stated that the government was ready for a bilateral meeting with India on the issue and informed that a date for a high-level meeting would be set in due time with due considerations from both the sides. The Visit Nepal 2020 campaign officially kicked off on New Year's Day on Wednesday with an aim to bring in 2 million tourists into the country during the year. President Bidya Devi Bhandari inaugurated the Visit Nepal 2020 campaign amid a special program held at the capital's Dasrath Stadium in Tripureshwar on Wednesday. Ministers, government office bearers, tourism ministers of different countries, heads of diplomatic agencies in Nepal, foreign media, and organizations affiliated with the tourism sector participated in the inauguration ceremony. Various cultural and musical performances were presented at the inauguration ceremony. Official programs were also organized in all the 7 provinces of the country to kick off the Visit Nepal 2020 campaign. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Kantipur News Desk.
And before we wrap up this morning news bulletin, here's a look at the top stories one more time. Chinese ambassador to Nepal said China will not intervene with Nepal's decision on its choice of development partner, says no issues with Millennium Challenge Corporation. The government and protesting sugarcane farmers reached 5-point agreement committee to be formed to sort out the problems faced by farmers. Sporadic rainfall witnessed across the country due to low-pressure westerly winds. Transportation along high-hill regions obstructed due to snowfall. And the US President Donald Trump says the killing of powerful Iranian military commander for the end of hostilities, even as Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini warns of severe retaliation. And those were our latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 a.m. this morning. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KDVSD. Good day.